I was treasurer and am treasurer of Regulate Marijuana Like Wine. I'd like to thank Stephanie LaLuz for putting this all together. Thanks also to Jill Stein, Green Party candidate, for coming and speaking to us, a real doctor. A special thanks also to the Topanga Peace Alliance over here, who have stood up for Veterans for Peace and protect our children from the military-industrial complex. The next speaker was Deputy Chief of Police for Los Angeles. He was at the very early stages when the gangs were first discovered. He's become an outspoken advocate for ending our failed war on drugs. He was a major proponent on Proposition 19 and an enormous benefactor and speaker for Regulate Marijuana Like Wine. It's an enormous honor to introduce Stephen Downey.
Thank you, Stephen Collett. I'm going to remove my lead hat for just a moment, and acknowledge Stephen Collett. Wonderful guy, running for Congress. I better put my lead hat back on now, Steve. Thank you for the nice introduction. I'd like to tell you a little story that happened about 2 months ago. The White House, Google, and YouTube sponsored a forum where people across the United States could ask the President a question. I asked one of the questions. 228,000 people submitted questions. 133,000 questions were asked, and 1,630,000 votes were made on those questions. And the question I asked was voted the #1 video question out of 1,600,000 votes. And this is the question I asked President Obama. I said, Mr. President, my name is Stephen Downey. I'm a retired Deputy Chief of Police from the Los Angeles Police Department. And from my decades of law enforcement experience, I have come to see our country's drug policies as a failure and a complete waste of criminal justice time. According to the Gallup poll, most recently made, the number of Americans across this nation who support legalizing and regulating marijuana now outnumber those who support continuing prohibition. So, Mr. President, what do you say to this growing voter constituency that wants more changes to our drug policy than you have delivered in your first term? I have the #1 vote. And do you know what the answer was to my question? We didn't get one. They stonewalled the question. But they did have time to talk about late night snacking in the White House, dancing, celebrating wedding anniversaries, and playing tennis. In other words, we were stonewalled. 2 weeks ago, President Obama was in Latin America, where many of the leaders of Latin America are saying, "End the war on drugs, Mr. Obama. You're killing our people." 50,000 people in Mexico were murdered in the last 5 years. End the war on drugs. And he said, well, maybe we can talk about it. He said that during his campaign, and we haven't talked about it yet. So our challenge is to get him to talk about it. Now, this is Earth Day, so let me talk about prohibition just a little bit in the context of Earth Day. Marijuana is bad for our national forest. It's toxic for our national forest. But the only reason that it's toxic to our national forest is because it's illegal. The only reason it's toxic to our national forest is because the cartels, mostly, or the growers, hidden away in our national forest using rat poison, using bad chemicals, damaging the watershed, building dams. In the last year, they seized about 262 miles of irrigation pipes. If marijuana was legal in this country, that wouldn't be going on. There would be legitimate growers growing marijuana like wine, having it controlled like wine, selling it like wine. Okay. And so, the war on drugs has failed, and we need change. And to get that change, we need to hold our president and all the others who are running for office in this country, we need to hold them to the fire. We need to put their feet to the fire, and we need them to discuss this subject. Make it a part of the national conversation. 80% of the people in California in a recent poll said it's time to end the war on drugs. We need a new drug policy. Thank you very much.